everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a long-awaited book haul. I have just been buying a lot of books consistently for really cheap, mind you, but it's just piles of books everywhere and I'm kind of running out of space for books, and I'm not even sure if I've repurchased the exact same books that I've already bought. So I guess we're gonna start off with like the classic stuff. I've read a couple of these already, I'm pretty sure, in like class because I had to, but right before I graduated college, we only had one bookstore in the town and it was pretty pricey, but like they had a lot of books. And also some of these I think are from like the library. Like I've paid for them because they have book sales and stuff like that. But I can't remember where some of these things that I got them at, but I'm pretty sure I got these at the bookstore that was in my college hometown. But these are just Shakespearean plays, just a bunch of them. Julius Caesar, Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet. I've read Hamlet and Juliet and Romeo and Juliet when I was younger, and this one is stories from Shakespeare. So two Shakespearean novels, and I thought it was cool because it has, some of these have like notes because they were previously owned, so there's like letters in them. I haven't read them. The bookstore is named Bob's Bookstore, and this one I really thought was really interesting. I recently got into reading a lot of manga just because I've watched a lot of TV shows and I wanted to read the book versions of them before the TV shows. So this one I got interested in because it's Halloween season, and I bought this when I moved back home. Me and my friend went on a like little sightseeing thing. We went to like one of the festivals in Chicago. She knew a bookstore and I thought that this was really interesting, and it was really cheap, and it's Death at Death's Door. So it's just basically about this character who I believe she's supposed to be Death. And it looks like a simple manga, and it's basically like just her going to a party. And I also have a bookmark. I have so many other mangas that are just like sitting over here on the side. But here is If I Stay. I don't think I owned the first book. This is of course the movie poster. I did watch the movie before I read the book, and I think I probably got this as well at a Goodwill. And I think I got it just because I got the second one, and then I never owned the first one, at least I don't think. And now I own it. So I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I am going to probably reread it. It's a really basic story. It's not a bad book by any means, and it's been a long time since I've read it, but it's pretty short. I might end up reading it maybe during the holiday season. I did read the first book in this series, and this is Where She Went. I believe that there's a third book, and I did read If I Stay. I don't know if I'll ever read this because I kind of wanted to reread If I Stay, but if I remember correctly, I didn't fully love the novel. It got a lot of hype when it first came out, and I will read this and I will read the first book again and maybe do a review about it, but I kind of want to get rid of stuff, so I don't know if I'm gonna keep this because it wasn't my favorite novel, the first one. So this is on my list of books to read. And then a lot of these are from the dollar store, so I'm gonna probably mention that a lot. I have an unhealthy obsession with the dollar store sometimes, and sometimes you can find pretty well-known books. This is actually one of my friend's favorite books, and I know she's been wanting me to read this for a really long time. But this is the Selection series. I never wanted to read it because I thought that it was like not that interesting. I think I got it wet too. Damn, that's sad. I've never read the books. My friend was really into them, and I saw it at the dollar store and I'm like, I'll pick it up. I've heard of this series, so it looks intriguing. I don't know what it's about. And then another book that I tried reading, and I don't know if I'm gonna finish reading it just because I feel like going into college and learning about English and taking English classes and stuff like that, it really ruins a lot of books for you. As you can see, I annotated a little bit of them. This one was also from the dollar store. It's called Fade to Black by Frances Knight. I picked it because it looked pretty, but this one I thought I would give it a chance. It seems interesting. It seems like an interesting novel, and I did get pretty far within it, but I just kept annotating so much, and I've annotated it within the novel too. Normally I don't do that, but because it was $1, this book, I just thought, you know what, might as well do it with a book that I don't really fully care about. I bought this at my college campus library because they did book sales all the time, so it still has the it still has the call number on it. But it does say withdrawn on there, and that means it's not in the system anymore. I did have to read this for class. I think like a part of it, not all of it, but it's just Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I think I do own Pride and Prejudice, it's just not with me. And yeah, I've always wanted to read a lot from Jane Austen, and I did see the movie, this adaptation of it. I know a little bit about it. I've read the graphic novel for it for class, and yeah, I haven't read it yet, but it seems really interesting. I did do a review on this, so I'll probably leave it somewhere, like in a card somewhere or down in the description below. But this is Monster, and you can tell where I bought it. I bought it at Half Price Books, and I did do a review on this. I love this book. It's a really great book. I found out that this book is actually geared towards, like, the age demographic is like 14 plus and up, because I work at a library and they actually have this in like the middle school section, and I'm like, this is not a middle school book. Like, I don't know, in my head I don't picture it as a middle school book. I mean, I read it in college, so I don't know if you guys have read it in middle school or high school, but it's a really great book. I really recommend it. A friend was like, why are you gonna buy it if you've already read it? Because it's a really good book. It's that good, and it's won awards. It's a good book. And if you haven't seen the review of that, go watch it. It's a good book. Basically, the synopsis is of a boy and his, like, sort of like a group of friends that he hangs out with. He gets wrongfully accused for a murder, but it's told through his perspective, and he's not a very, like, reliable narrator. It's also told through the perspective of, like, through, like, stage cues, because he wants to be a director, and he wants to, you know, direct his own personal life story. So, like, in certain points it's through stage cues, and then through other points it's through his own perspective, so it's through his own handwriting. I didn't have a physical copy of the book when I did the review, so I don't know if I explained that very well, but yeah, so it's like cut to interior courtroom, blah 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 blah, and then who's speaking, and then when he's talking about his own personal experiences, it's through, like, his own handwriting. So the factual stuff is kind of like through this, but you're still not, like, aware of, like, the whole situation as to what's going on, and then this is just his personal experience. But, like, both narratives are kind of not fully trustworthy, but it's a really great story, and I really loved it. I thought it was really good. And it also shows images too as well, and it was really quick to read because it's not like the text doesn't fill the whole entire page, so it was a quick read. And I like books that are kind of like stage-esque. Anyway, and then, so for the last book, which I probably should put with the other book that I got with it, but some of you guys may know a little TV series on Netflix that I watched, and, you know, I just came to the realization that, like, every movie, TV show, anything is more often than not will end up being based off of a book. So a lot of people probably don't know this, but the hit TV show You from Netflix was a book. And yeah, it was a book, and I didn't know that. And I'm so angry because I was like, no way. Like, I found out that it was a book, and I'm angry that I didn't get to read it before I saw the movie, the TV show. I love the TV show. I love the actors in it. I rented them from the library, and I kind of want to rewatch them, but I want to read these first. The first one and the second book, and there's a third book too as well, and that's why they're coming out with a third season soon, so that's why I really want to read these before that third season comes out, and I want to rewatch the TV show because I forget what his name is, but he plays such a great Joe. Oh my god, yes. If you don't know what You is about, it's basically about a guy named Joe, Joe Goldberg, and he's not, like, okay in the head. He becomes a criminal, and he tries to justify everything that he does because he's doing it for a girl, and it's just, there's a lot, and it's told through his perspective, so you kind of sympathize with this criminal, which is something that I always find interesting, is, like, seeing stories through the antagonist side rather than through the protagonist side. Like, don't get me wrong, I like protagonists, and I like the fact that they have flaws and they grow and learn and whatever, but it's also interesting to see the antagonist and how they spiral into madness, you know? So yeah, I cannot wait to read this. I'm really, really excited about it. I think the only thing that, like, is kind of making me hesitant to read it is just because, like, I hate having watched a movie or a TV show and then having to go and read the book afterwards, because then in my head I'm like, well, now the TV show and the movie has tarnished it, and now it's going to be the exact same, like, carbon copy of what I'm reading. That's how manga has been for me a lot lately, where like it just feels like a carbon copy of the TV show. There are some differences like here and there, which I find interesting, but they go by really quickly, but they're also kind of really boring because I'm like, I've already watched this. So I'm afraid that I'm going to have the same experience with reading you. But I really want to read this book so badly. I think the other reason why I'm like kind of nervous to read it is because this cover is like, it feels so weird. It kind of feels like sandpaper. I don't know about you, but like I like to feel comfortable while I'm reading a book, and like I'm a texture person, so like the fact that I can feel the grooves and like the texture of it, I don't like it. And it makes that sound like, and I'm not even like putting that much pressure on it. So yeah, so this one I believe I did buy at Barnes and Noble. So those are all the books that I've bought. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I have more videos somewhere on my channel. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I hope to be making more videos in the future now that I have a little bit more free time. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see all you guys in the next video. Bye!